let's try to study for the CBA on Tuesday. This video is supposed to help you add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. At the end of the video, you get some extra practice questions that you need to do for a classroom grade, for a classwork grade. So, let's look at question number 1. You have 5n plus 8n squared plus 4n to the power 4 minus 4n plus 6n to the 4th minus 6n squared. This is just like saying you have this polynomial minus 4n minus 6n to the 4th plus 6n squared, or minus 6n squared. So, here's the main trick. If you are subtracting polynomials, you make sure that the minus sign applies to each of the following terms. So, let's line up polynomials, okay? If you are a visual learner, you would like to see things, okay? So, you take the first polynomial, and we can do it from least to greatest or greatest to least power. It doesn't matter. In this case, we'll just do it from least to greatest since it's already done that way. So you have 5n plus 8n squared plus 4n to the power 4. Now, the next polynomial, make sure you put the terms where they belong. So the 4n needs to be under the 5n. Same powers. 6n to the 4th belongs here, under the 4n to the 4th. The 6n squared, that also has the negative sign, belongs here. Now, when you subtract, you need to make sure you distribute the negative sign. Since we're subtracting, you need to distribute the negative sign. That means you flip the sign of the bottom polynomial. You flip the sign of the bottom polynomials. So, this is a positive, so it becomes a negative. This is a negative, it becomes a positive. This is a positive, it becomes a negative. Then you add. Once you distribute the sign, you treat the problem like an addition problem. Once you distribute the negative sign, you treat the problem as an addition problem. So, you say 5n plus negative 4n, or basically 5n minus 4n, is simply n. Okay, just like saying 5 bananas minus 4 bananas is just a banana. Now, 8n squared plus 6n squares. 8 monkeys plus 6 monkeys is how many monkeys? 14 monkeys. Now, 4n to the 4th minus 6n to the 4th. It's like saying 4 apples minus 6 apples. I'm 2 apples short. Okay, that should be your answer. But in most cases, we like to arrange the powers from greatest to least, or in descending order. Descending means greatest to least. Okay, so the negative 2n to the 4th will be first. All right, 4th. plus the 14n squared. Again, we're arranging based on the powers, and then plus the n. Okay, so let's look which answer matches. 14n squared, so it'll be C. Okay, now it's your turn. So this is question number 1. That's the assignment for the subtracting polynomials. Okay, now after you're done with the subtracting polynomials, hopefully you guys practiced the practice question. Let's do adding polynomials, which is a lot simpler and easier than subtracting just because of the negative sign. But again, you need to do the same exact process. Okay, so we need to make sure our terms are lined up based on the power. You can do greatest to least or least to greatest, whatever you feel comfortable with, but I like greatest to least. So I'll take my negative 2m to the power 4 first. Then my negative 2m cubed. Then my m squared. Okay. Then I'll do the same here. Have 3m to the 4th. Now, the 4m squared, make sure you put it under the m squared. And then the cube is under the cube. Then we're just adding, so there's no problem here. You just add. So, negative 2 plus 3. If you guys don't know how to do this, use a calculator. It will do it for you, but I prefer you do it in your head. It's just an m to the power 4. Minus 2 plus 3 is just a 1, so it's an m cubed. Okay. M squared plus 4m squared is 5m squared. So you're just adding the coefficient and the variable stays the same. Adding the coefficients and the variable stays the same. Remember, if a variable does not have a coefficient, that means it's a 1, because we don't write the 1 down. So this is a 1, this is a 1. Okay, so the answer should be m to the 4th plus m cubed plus 5m squared. So the reason that the answer was ready for me and I didn't have to rearrange it is because I already did the arrangement up here. And I did it from the greatest to the least power. Now it's your turn. So this is question number 2, and it's about adding polynomials. It's about adding polynomials. So pause the video, work at the problem, and then move on. Okay, question number 3. It's simply talking about multiplying polynomial. Here's where we play with the box method. I think it will help you not to skip terms, because some of you forget some terms in the middle. I don't know how, but it happens. So basically, we're doing the distributive property when you multiply both of these terms by every single term in here. So everybody has to get multiplied by everybody. So the box helps us organize it and visualize it better. So my first term has 2. My first parenthesis has 2 terms. My second parenthesis has 3 terms. So I need a 2 by 3. So my box should look like this, where it's just 2 by 3. Okay. My negative parenthesis was negative 4v minus 4. My second parenthesis was 3v squared plus 6v minus 4. And you're just copying simple, the parentheses as it is. There's no much thinking going on. Then you start multiplying. So the 4v and the 3v squared multiplied together. Remember, when you multiply, the powers are added, okay? In adding and subtracting polynomials, you don't change the powers. Multiplying, you add the powers. So, negative 4 times 3 is simply negative 12. Now, v times v squared is v cubed. You added the power. Remember, that means the power of 1. Usually, we don't write the 1. We forget about the 1. So, 1 plus 2 is a 3. Then, next term will be the negative 4v times 6v. That'll be negative 24v squared. Again, if you're not sure how to multiply the coefficient, use a calculator. Okay. Then negative 4v times negative 4. Remember, negative times negative makes a positive, so it'll be 16v. Again, if you're not sure, just use a calculator. Plug in negative 4 times negative 4. Okay. Now, we're done with the negative 4v. Now we're doing the negative 4. We're multiplying the negative 4 by every single term. So negative 4 times 3v squared is negative 12v squared. Negative 4 times 6v is negative 24v. Negative 4 times negative 4 is simply 16. Okay. Now, we have to combine like terms. Again, like terms means same base, same power. Like term means same base, same power. Well, okay, so let's look at the greatest power, since we're going to have to put it from greatest to least. My greatest power is 3, and it's the only term that has the 3. So, no work done here. So, negative 12v cubed. Okay. Then we're going to do the square. Okay. Again, if you don't know how to add and subtract negative numbers, use a calculator. So, you have the negative 24v squared and the negative 12v squared. So, it should be negative 36v squared. On the test, if you're doubting your mental math, please use the calculator to verify that negative 24 minus 12 is negative 36. Then, let's do the v's. We have 16v minus 24v. Again, you don't know how to do it? Use a calculator, okay? I know there's going to be a negative because negative 24 is way bigger than 16, okay? So it's negative 8 nv, right? Stays the same, no problem here. And then the constant is just a 16. We have nothing to do here. Okay? And that should be your answer for this problem. So, negative 12v cubed, v squared minus 8v plus 16, and A should be your answer. Okay? Now it's your turn. So, please practice this question and see if you can do it on your own. If not, there's more examples coming up. Okay, so let's practice a little bit more multiplying polynomials using the box. So look at question number 4. We have 2 by 3. So we need a box that has, again, 2 by 3. Two by 3. Okay, so 3x plus y, that's my first parenthesis. My second parenthesis is negative 5x squared minus 7xy minus 8y squared. Okay, let's practice to multiply. So 3x times negative 5x squared. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Please use a calculator to verify if you need to. X times x squared. Again, we add the powers, so it's x cubed. Okay. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. X times x is x squared, and the y just stays the same. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. No x's, just the y squared. Okay, then let's do the y. Y times negative 5x squared is negative 5x squared y. Y times negative 7xy is negative 7xy squared, because we added the powers. This is power 1, this is power 1, there's 2. Negative 8y cubed. Let's combine like terms. In this case, it's a little bit harder to see who has more higher power or not. So all you need to do is just combine your terms and compare the answers you have in the multiple choice section. Okay? This is the only x cubed, so there's nothing else we can do about it. So negative 15x cubed. Y cubed also is only one term. So negative 8y cubed. Now, x squared y. We have two terms that have x squared y. We have negative 5x squared y and negative 21x squared y. So when you're adding and subtracting, combining like terms, the variables don't change. So the x squared y is not going to change. It will still be x squared y. You're just playing with the coefficients. So negative 5 minus 21 is negative 26. So the variables stay the same, and you're just playing with the coefficients, and you can use the calculator to figure it out. You can do minus 5 minus 21, and that will give you your answer. Finally, we have xy squared, so that's common as well. So, which is going to be xy squared. The variables, again, will stay the same. And then you combine negative 7 minus 24. Again, if you don't know how to do it, please use the calculator. Is going to be negative 31. Or minus 31. Okay, and this should be your answer. So let's compare. Now, this is very confusing, so take it one term at a time. Negative 15x cubed. So this has a negative 15x cubed. Nothing else. So let's compare the rest of the answer. Minus 26x squared y. Okay, so yes. Minus 31xy squared. Yes. Minus 8y cubed. Yes, so that's my answer. Again, the order will make a difference because it's not just one variable where you go from greatest power to least power. So it's okay to be in any order. Now, it's your turn. Try practicing this problem. Okay, I'm going to start practicing one more question on multiplying polynomials, and if you need further help, please come to tutorials on Friday after school. Okay, so let's play with this last box. We have 2 by 3. Okay, so I'm going to have another 2 by 3. Using big space here, everybody can see. Okay. The first parenthesis has 7m minus 4n. Second parenthesis has 3m squared plus mn plus 6n squared. Now I'm going to multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. M times m squared is m cubed because we add the powers. 7 times 1 is just a 7. M times n is m squared. And there's no n's except this one. 6 times 7 is 42. M n squared. Those are the bottom. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. M squared n. Negative 4 m n squared. Again, we're adding these powers. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. N times n squared is n cubed. Let's combine like terms. There's only one m cubed, so 21m cubed. There's only one n cubed. Okay. M square n, we have two of them. And be careful because you could confuse the terms. So 7 minus 12, put in the calculator if you're not sure. But 7 minus 12 is negative 5, and the variable stays the same. And then 42 minus 4 is 38 m n squared. So again, when you're adding or subtracting, the variables, the powers don't change. You only change the powers when you multiply. You only add the powers when you multiply. You only add the powers when you multiply. When you're adding, subtracting, combining like terms, the powers stay the same. Now let's go to the multiple choice and compare. 21m cubed has to be A. Okay. Word problems are my favorite since we're learning math to use it and not just to learn it. I want you to read this question carefully and try to figure out what is the surface area of Earth. Of course, you will not have a perfect answer because pi is not perfect. But I need you to try to use what we learned today and come up with an approximate value for the surface area of the Earth, given that this is the diameter. Okay? I need this turned in tomorrow also for a grade. Okay, let's look at question number 7, and I'm going to practice a little bit with that because I think this is not that complicated, but some of you try to complicate it. I don't know why. But this is a cube or a rectangular prism, and we need to find the volume. The volume of any three-dimensional shape is length times width times height. So it's going to be A times B squared times whatever that is. Okay, it's AB plus C. So the easiest thing to do is just multiply the single variables, right? So first you need to multiply A times B squared, which is AB squared, right? Then you need to multiply this by the height, which is AB plus C. Do one step at a time. So first multiply these two, which is easier, and then you multiply the third. Okay? I want you guys to practice. You can do the box, you can do distributive property, you can do whatever you feel like, but I need this turned in as part of your classwork as well. For question number 8, I need you guys to draw a picture, and I need you to label the picture with whatever you're giving. So you have a rectangular desk. Okay, so just draw a rectangle, and it's built around a square pool. Then you have a square pool. Okay. And the pool has a side of S. Okay. So this is S. And the deck has a side length of 5 units longer, again, 5 units longer than twice the side. So we need twice the side. So 2s twice the side. And 5 units longer, plus 5. So I need you to find the area. Everybody knows area is length times width. So feel free, play with it, and it's also part of your classwork. This is also part of our CBA review. So make sure you study hard. This is just a review and study polynomials. And there is more in the next video on quadratics and other stuff that you need to learn for your CBA. Good luck.